Functions. Hello friends, how are you? Welcome to Tripanasi Center. Let's see what is our topic today. Soil pollution. The soil pollution is the most important pollution here. The addition of the substance that change to quality of the soil by the making it is a less fertility and unlevel support of life is called soil pollution. There is a soil pollution generally is a unsupported of life and the less fertility is called to the soil pollution. There is a substance is a change the quality of the soil making. There is an important here, and the next is a source of soil pollution. The source of the soil pollution here, the soil pollution causing by the due to the domestic source, industrial source, and agriculture residues. There is the most important here, the causing, and there first is a domestic source. There are domestic source here, a plastic bag, kitchen waste, is a glass bottle, and the paper. There is a domestic source is a very dangerous for today life. There are plastic bags are also dangerous, and the kitchen waste and glass bottle and the paper. But here the next second is the industrial source is the chemical residue fly ash and the metallic waste and the others. And the agricultural is the use is the fertilizer and pesticides. The use of is in many quantity in a field. The next is a harmful effect of the soil pollution. There is a decreasing of irrigate and the land, thereby the reduction of the agriculture production. And the next is a decrease in the soil productivity, and there next is the carry over to pollutants into the food chain and damage the landscape here. There is the most harmful effect of the soil pollution. The next is the control of soil pollution here. The head is a judicious use of chemical fertilizer and pesticides and proper to the proper irrigation practice and the conservation of the farm waste into the compost and much use of biofertilizer and the manure is a farming. The next here ensure use of pollination free and treated waste water only for irrigations. And there next is the recycling on waste material. For example, plastic, metal and glass are recyclable, and there are incinerations of non-recyclable waste. There is the most important recycling of the waste material for the plastic and metal and glass. They are most important. The next is soil erosion. There soil erosion is very dangerous for the soil. There is a process of the dashing and removal of the looseness of soil particles by the running water, and there is a groundwater, rain, sea waves, and the winds is known as the soil erosion. There is a flying of the running water, is there a groundwater, rain, and the moss is affected by the seas of waves. There is known as the soil erosion. The soil may be eroded by the water and weight is contributing to the significant amount of soil loss every year in our country. There is a most is a harmful effect on the field, and the next is a types of soil erosion. Here is the types of soil erosions, the beam erosions. The first of all, wind. The wind is mostly causing the erosion of the soil. The erosion of the large quantity of fine soil particles and sand from the desert by winds is known wind erosions. It is a spread over to the cultivated land and thus is destroyer of fertility of water land. The wind erosion is a maximum effect for the soil. And the next is sheet erosion. There is sheet erosion when to the water move and over the land surface is sheet is a take away for the topmost thin layer of the soil, and this is a phenomenon occur uniformly on the slope of a hilly area and the river beds and their area affected by the flood. This type of erosion is known as a sheet erosion. The sheet erosion is a maximum here the area of the river beds area affected by the flood. That is sheet erosion is mostly is erosion for the field. The next is a gully erosion. The gully erosion is when the water moves down over the slope as a channel. It escapes out of the soil and the form gullies, which is gradually is multiply and spread over to a large area. This type of soil erosion is known as a gully erosion. The friend, their gully erosion is generally gradually multiply and spread over large area. That is the scope of the soil and form gullies. That is called the gully erosion. And the next is the effect of the soil erosion. There is an effect of the soil erosion here. The soil erosion may be is have a several adverse effects such as the top layer of productivity land may be washed away. There is effect of the soil erosion. There is a top layer of productivity land may be washed away, and the road, fancy bridge, trees, house may be get a damage, and the fine soil may be transported far away, and the crops are pasture land may be destroyed. Otherwise begin to wash out while they are getting covered with the mud. And flooded field may be take a long time to recover, and the fertilizers may be also be washed above the leading of destruction in agriculture yards. And the next here, organic matter of the soil is reduced or many apply to manure and relatives high weights, and there can be readily to the wash of the field. The crop emerges a growth and they are directly affected by their loss of natural nutrient and fertilizer in the soil. As the seeds and plant can be get disturbed or completely removed from to the eroded soil. There is a next is the soil erosion is change the compositions of soil, leaving interfertilized is the rock behind soil quantity and structure, and the stability and the texture may also be affected. There is a main effect for air. The next is a breakdown of the aggregate and the removal of the smaller particles of entire layer of soil or organic matter. Can be beacon of the structure, even change the texture. Texturally change can be return affect the water holding capacity of their soil, making it a more susceptible and extremely of conditions as a drought. There is next is a sediment, which is the riches of streams and water course due to soil erosion is clogged drains, and the stream channels as in deposit silt in the reservoirs is the reduced quantity of downstream water. There is a main effect for air. And the next here, there is a cases of the soil erosion. There are cases soil erosion here. The natural, first of all, natural resource. The natural resource means water erosion. There is a natural resource. During the rainfall and drop of rain can be break down a soil aggregate, and there is a disperse them and the losing the soil particles as a transported with the runoff water. And the vegetation is a depicted by the birth as the raindrops are free to heat the soil and causing erosion of rainfall. There are next is a wind erosion. There are wind erosions. There is an important factor. The wind can remove a large amount of soil. Wind erosion is a serious mean of soil erosion, and blowing soil not only the leaves and degraded area is behind, but can be also vary to the kill the vegetations and there is a setter. And the wind blow away for the fine a particle of soil during a drought. The next is a anthropogenic. Anthropogenic means to produce by the humans. The humans are the effective of the soil, and there is extensive of a cutting down of forest and tree exposed by ground surface to their direct impact of the rain and with the wind. There is a most important factor here, the cutting down the forest, the impact of rain and winds. For example, in the absence of the proper vegetation cover, there is no interception of the rainfalls, and the falling the rain strictly to be soil surface directly resulting in the throwing up of the loose soil and particles in the air, and which are the washed away to the rainwater. And the next area, a construction work. There is a construction work is a mining, draining channel is canal and ditch or chain to the structure of the soil. This accelerate of the soil erosion due to high speed of winds as well as rainwater. The next is a well making of a road, soil is cut and the massive of digging of the earth take place, and this lead to soil erosion by the water or wind. The next is a excessive use of the plugging machines, fertilizer and irrigation may be damaged for the land. The last here is in many areas trees and grasses are disrupted because of the overgrazing by the animal. There is a main factor here is the overgrazing of animal. This makes the soil susceptible of erosion. The next is the prevention of soil erosion. The some method to control soil erosion is a discussion below. There first here, the roots of tree hold the soil material together, and therefore there should be a protect our forest and tree from a begin cut down. And the is the afforestation is the mean to the planting trees in place of cut down is a, and forest trees, and the planting of trees along the river side and wasteland is a mountainous slope and reduced the excessive erosion of soil that take place in these regions, and it is also effect to the controlling wind erosion. There is a main factor is of erosions. There are planting of trees along the river side and wasteland is a mountainous here. There is also a grazing by the as domesticated animal in the planet by to the use of soil erosion by the protecting vegetations cover too, especially on the hill slope, which are more prone to be soil erosion. And there is a protected channels for water movement is a must be provided to be stop soil erosion. And if their waterway are properly maintaining the speed of water get reduced and soil erosion are decreasing. And their dam should be constructed on the river to control the flooding and the consequently soil erosion. This can be also done by the diverting water to dry area through the canal in the is a planned way. There is a most important here and obstruction of now as the bond should be constructed in a land affected by the gully erosion. There is the most important here. And then the next is a tracing is the method of farming to is a conserve the things soil layers on the mountain slopes, and this helps to controlling soil erosions and using of water resource of this area and more economically and effective from growing crop on these traces. And the next here is the plunging and the tilling of the land along the is a contours level in order to the course of soils they run across the land, and slope is known as the counter plunging. And this method is the most suited to area that have a rolling or landscape. That is the most important. And wind breaks, which is a mean to the planting trees to the protect various soil from to the fully force of wind, also in a preventing soil erosion by wind. And wind breaks reduce to the velocity of winds, thereby decreasing the amount of soil that can be carried away. There is one fact is a biodegradable and the non-biodegradable waste material. The waste generated from the various sources can be categorized by into the two ways. Is a biodegradable waste that include a substance that can be degraded by their microbe into the harmless and non-toxic substance. Here the sewage, kitchen waste, and agricultural and animal waste like leaves, twigs, and have dunks, etc. are the biodegradable wastes. And the next is here non-biodegradable waste here cannot be easily degraded. Is ammonia cans, plastic, glass, DIETs, etc. For example, a non-biodegradable waste is a radioactive waste produced during to nuclear reaction take a long time to declare and the harmful to the human beings. There is the if the waste material is proposed by the some means and convert to the product, we call their process of recycling. The recycling helps the efficiency of management of waste and also reduce to the land and the natural resource. The use of cow dung to be production of the biogas is a good example of recycling of waste for the production of energy. There is a most important for the recycling of day-to-day life.